So something funny and a little ironic is I felt a little compelled to do some sort of YouTube video thing for a while now, but as like silly as I like to be sometimes and enjoy doing video stuff, I wouldn't really consider like YouTube, like videos, all that stuff my thing. I've done some, stuff like that in the past for a job, but writing is kind of where I like to be. I like to sit down and just write. That's where I feel most fueled. But I've decided to stop ignoring my gut or whatever this is and give, doing little videos a shot. The funny thing and the ironic thing is since I started doing that, which wasn't that long ago, I've only posted like 2 videos or something, but maybe like a week and a half, life has been kind of tough, which I know is only like a week, so it's like everyone has their good weeks and bad weeks, but really for a long time there, fighting anxiety and that whole thing was smooth sailing. There weren't really many bumps in the road. Then I had this, antidepressant drama, and now driving all of a sudden has become more of an issue again, and just these things, right? Nothing like the world is ending, but it can affect your daily mood and all this stuff. And this morning I woke up with excruciating back pain. I've had back problems ever since I had Ella, and I throw my back out regularly now. It's just kind of something I've learned to deal with. But I couldn't move very well, so I stayed home. I worked from home today, and it was just bringing me down. My mood was down. I was complaining a lot. Tim stayed home from work today. He's working from home, so he can deal with the kids, pick them up and everything, because I can't like physically lift a child. So just all those throws and like curveballs and schedules and stuff is tough to deal with. But I was just not a happy person to be around, and I've kind of felt just down the past week or so anyway with the whole anxiety thing. So I ended up at, I don't even know if you can see it, but I'm at an adoration chapel. It's a perpetual adoration chapel. I live pretty close by it, which is really nice. I'm gonna go in and spend some time with Jesus, which this is going on YouTube, so who knows what reaction that will get, if any, because I know prayer and religion and all that isn't really the popular thing to do these days, but I've never really been a conformist, so there's that. But one of the reasons why I first started talking about anxiety, writing about it 3 years ago, is because I couldn't find really much online about it, like stories, like there's like the clinical, like WebMD's how to fight anxiety, and that's nice, but when I was going through pregnancy and everything, look at my eyeballs. When I was going through pregnancy and everything, what I found that I most benefited from when I was going through pregnancy? When I was pregnant, what I found to be most helpful was people just talking about it, like this is what they went through. So I didn't really find many stories. I think just now, like in the past 3-4 years, even more and more people are coming out and saying like they have anxiety, this is how they deal with it. And that's great. That's amazing. People should do that. So that's why I started writing about it. Maybe someone else who is suffering could benefit in some way. But even further, I couldn't find much about how to deal with, is my hand shaking? How to deal with anxiety, being Catholic. And that was even, I would say a little more frustrating because, I don't know. You just want to know how to get through it. I found a lot. What was not lacking online was the pray your anxieties away, you're not holy enough, you're not spiritual enough, you're not going to church enough, just go to mass and you'll feel better, and all this stuff. And that's why I tend to not like to talk about anxiety as like a black and white issue, because there are degrees of anxiety, there's severity of anxiety. You know, if it's not this clinical thing and all of a sudden you just have anxiety and you've been doing something different in your life that could be questionable, whatever, there might be a legitimate issue there. Like maybe it is just spiritual. Maybe God is trying to tell you, hey, this isn't the right thing. But there there are problems that are more severe than that. You know, there's anxiety that requires antidepressants and therapy and exercise, and, you know, let's talk about the grand A to Z plan here. When I write about anxiety, I tend to keep the religious aspect out of it, but if we're going to be real here, I mean, taking care of yourself is mind, body, and soul. I mean, anxiety isn't exclusive to people who are, you know, any one group. You know, it's religious and non-religious people alike have it. So when I write about it, I try to, you know, write about it in a way that can like tangibly help everybody, you know, exercise, this, you know, essential oil, this, or this, that. But in reality, for me, and my anxiety journey, if you want to call it, prayer and mass and all of that has been the foundation upon which I fight. Yes, I go to therapy. Yes, I take antidepressants. Yes, I just joined a gym. Good for me. Yes, I exercise. Yes, I try to eat healthy. Yes, I do spiritual oils. Yes, I've done, you know, acupuncture. I've gone to chiropractors. I do massage therapy. I do all of this stuff, A to Z. But I don't pay attention just to the temporal, just to what do I need to get through in order to get up and get through this day. One of my favorite proverbs is, move your feet while you pray. And that's kind of been my mantra in fighting anxiety. And one of my favorite things about being Catholic and the Catholic faith in general is suffering is not meaningless. Suffering is redemptive and meaningful and has a purpose. And so, yes, I'm on a journey, I think. I hate that word journey sometimes. Yes, I'm on a path to healing. I have to take care of those temporal things, the medicine and all this stuff. I have to be able to get up and function every day. I have children. I can't just not tend to these problems. Hence the move your feet while you pray. I'm not just going to sit back and be like, you know what, Jesus, you got this. I don't need to do anything. No, that's also not right. That was kind of a side tangent. I'm on a path. And while one day I would like to think that I can be off antidepressants and not have panic attacks in the middle of 12 Mile, I offer up my suffering in the meantime, which sounds so, I don't like talking about this stuff. You know, I like to keep this stuff private, but suffering is redemptive. It's not nothing. And that's why, long story short, that's why I ended up at the Adoration Chapel today. I don't come here as much as I should. I should be here every day. I came with an unfinished face. I'm not all made up today. I'm feeling kind of grungy. My shirt's kind of gross. I'm wearing clogs with pants that don't really go together. But I think there's something beautiful in that. You know, I'm here to spend time with the Lord. That's kind of that. I wanted to share that because I don't talk about the religious side of my fight probably as much as I should. But that doesn't mean that it's not very much a part of my everyday and a part of much of me and my view of mental illness and all this stuff. And a lot of people will disagree with me, and that's that, America, right? But I think if I didn't believe that suffering had a greater purpose to it, that I would feel very like, what's the point? Why am I even going through this? Like, why can't I, just function normally, or blah, blah, blah. But, suffering can be a beautiful thing. And in the meantime, when I have a panic attack in the middle of 11 Mile, or, you know, I don't know, feel like I can't get out of bed, I try to remember to say a prayer. It's hard to be composed in that moment, but I try to remember to say a prayer, offer up my suffering for my kids, my husband, my mom, you know, friends who are struggling, you know, just anything. It's like, it's my little prayer for them, you know, this moment that is kind of a little bit of hell on earth for me, maybe can turn into something bigger and beautiful for somebody else. I did this little bit before I went into the Adoration Chapel. I didn't really want to come out and talk about how it made me feel, because it doesn't really matter what I feel like when I walk out of there after I pray, because I could still feel like crap. I could still feel panicky and awful and, you know, irritated, but that doesn't matter. How I feel in this moment doesn't matter. I've come to just give my load, a very heavy load, to Jesus. So that being said, I brought a book. I stole it from work. I'll give it back. It's The Life of Saint Joseph. He's my all-time favorite saint. He just, yeah. So I'm gonna go in and do a little reading and come out probably choosing to feel a little bit better. It'll be more likely the case. So more later, guys. Bye.